There are no more original movies. They've all been done. Now you might be thinking that's wrong. Well, hopefully at the end of this you think otherwise. So first, what do I mean by original movies? I mean simply, purely unique movies that weren't based on anything. These kinds of movies used to be very common, but as time went on, many people started having troubles coming up with an original thought. You might have heard the phrase that every thought has already been thought of before by somebody, and the saying holds weight, which is why nobody can simply shrug off the fact that there are no more original movies. Well, they're out since based off books. Forgot about these for books too. And these. Sorry, but these are based off comic books. While they are original musicals, they aren't original movies as they are based off real events and people. All TV shows that finally got a movie out of the deal. And finally, of course, the continuations of franchises. Well, they're out. All of those movies and more, but not a one is original. Don't get me wrong, they will often have a unique twist to them, but it's not enough to qualify as original. Now, many when I say there aren't any original movies bring up Coco as an example for originality. Sorry to burst your bubble, everyone, but Coco is simply the overpriced knockoff of a lesser-known but beautifully animated movie. Before I tell you the name of it, let me first sum up Coco for you. A musician whose family disapproves of him being a magician ends up going to the land of the remembered and meeting old dead relatives before returning home to finally be accepted. And that, my friends, is the simple plot of Book of Life. Oh, my bad. Did I not say this movie? The same one that came over 3 years after Book of Life? Did I forget to mention they're both musicals too? Moving on. Some even brought up the Pitch Perfect trilogy. Now, trust me when I say this, because I too thought these were original. But it wasn't until I watched the credits roll by for Pitch Perfect 2 that I realized my mistake. They are my friend and I saw based off the book. We couldn't wrap our heads around this. How can this a cappella masterpiece be based off text in a book? However, that doesn't change the fact that it wasn't the original college musical version of Breakfast Club we all thought it to be in the beginning. Besides, the movie industry is swimming in the money they're making on people who loved their original hits. For crying out loud, Jumanji Welcome to the Jungle made 3 times the profit in its opening weekend alone compared to the original. Plus, personally, I enjoyed Finding Dory a lot more than Finding Nemo, so sequels can even prove more fruitful in both quality and profit-wise than their predecessors. And those sequels we just don't talk about. To top it off, people in this day and age love nostalgia, so why wouldn't the movie industry milk it for all it's worth? It's sad too, because some movies we consider classics and everyone seems to have seen were original. Examples are like Star Wars, Breakfast Club, etc. All movies the public fell in love with and are purely original simply because the industry took risks on the great scriptwriters. The money the movie industry is rolling in on these continuations of series, adaptations, and clever twists on reality, who can blame them for a lack of originality? No movie industry is going to take a risk on some unknown story when they can simply continue with what's worked. Why else are there so many sequels to such classics? Or those movies that can count as original are simply reruns of overused cliches that make any originality irrelevant. It's too bad too, because I could really use the next Star Wars to come out just to reinvent a whole new franchise for the next generation to fall in love with and carry on for the rest of their lives. After all, that's what we got. One problem, though. There are a few movies that have come out lately that have no prior installments. One problem, though. There are a few movies that have come out lately that have no prior installments. However, these original movies are unheard of because some unknown movie companies decided to release a film. Although these are still recent original movies. Oops, except this one, based off a book. Get my drift? But there's a reason these movies are original. Because everything is copyrighted and the only chance for them to make profit is by finding some no-name scriptwriter to make it.